Good morning everyone. This is Kailin Kamikawa. Following CAN, the Environmental Protection Group, Extinction Rebellion, on November 12, the Australian government's measures against global warming are inadequate. Outside the office of Finance Minister Birmingham, Australia, we held a protest to sow horse manure. On the piled horse dung, there is a national flag that says, "Inferior country for global warming countermeasures." There was also a copy of the Australian government's carbon emissions reduction plan. Extinction Rebellion activists in protective clothing protested against global warming measures indicated by the Australian government at COP26. I also posted on Facebook that measures are insufficient. The targeted Australian Treasury Minister Birmingham said Australia has stated that it is more successful than expected in its global warming countermeasures. Treasury Minister Birmingham, who was sprinkled with horse dung outside the office, said he tweeted, "I don't want you to waste horse manure. We welcome local gardeners to use it as a fertilizer for the spring," he said. Without blaming China, the source of all the evils of increasing CO2, these eco-terrorist groups, I don't understand if I blame Australia. You can only feel that you are saying something that is easy to say. I can't trust it at all. Australia's annual CO2 emissions are around 400 million tons. On the other hand, China weighs more than 10.3 billion tons. There is a difference of more than 26 times, and in recent years, the number of countries in China has been increasing. Global CO2 emissions are certainly increasing, but if you look at the CO2 emissions of each country in the world, it will be clear from the fire that the root of all evil is China. Australia is the 16th on a global scale and does not appear in this figure. It is less than 50% compared to Japan. Well, because the population is different, it may not be possible to compare. In terms of per capita emissions, it ranks second only to Saudi Arabia. But overall, it is clear that China must first strive to reduce CO2. Australia is certainly large-scale forest fires centered on the eastern part that occurred in the middle of 2019 continued. It caused enormous damage to various areas such as local residents, ecosystems, and economic activities. Forest fires in the summer, December to February, are not uncommon in the country. The fire in 2019 was the largest ever. Various causes such as lightning and arson have been pointed out regarding the occurrence of fires. The scale has expanded so far it seems that 2019 was the hottest and driest year in the history of observation. In the country, in addition to the rising temperature, disasters such as large-scale droughts and floods have occurred frequently in the last few years. There is a growing view that these are caused by climate change due to global warming. Australia has been criticized internationally for its inadequate measures against climate change. The country's CO2 emissions, 2017, are the 15th largest in the world. It accounts for only 1.2% of global emissions. However, among fossil fuels, the one with the highest CO2 emissions is due to the high dependence on thermal power generation using coal. Emissions per capita is the second largest in the world among the top 15 countries. It is about 3.5 times the world average. The country has ratified the Paris Agreement and will reduce CO2 emissions by 2030. We had set a target of 26% to 28% reduction compared to 2005. CO2 emissions in 2018 are rather higher than in 2005. There is growing uncertainty about achieving our goals. Australia not only consumes coal domestically, because coal exports are the second largest in the world, 2018. It is also said to have a large impact on climate change countermeasures. At the 26th Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, COP26, an NGO called CAN, along with Norway, Japan, etc. Fossil award given to countries that are not active in climate change countermeasures, is given to Australia. In that sense, just because they are reluctant to generate coal-fired power generation. This eco-terrorist group, Extinction Rebellion, I think it was a sprinkle of horse manure. However, this is clearly illegal and requires strict legal action, severe punishment. If you're thinking, I don't like it, I can do anything, then you're the shit guys. I can only think of it as stupid people who made a mistake in motto. That's all.